tell you, man, for a 12-year-old boy, Gon has bigger cojones than most grown men, man. Oh, what a cool episode.
Hunter x Hunter, episode 18, Big Time Interview.
Oh, I just love it. It's good. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters and prospective hunters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you and to guide you and take you on a journey and a trip down into a review of this magnificent and wondrous tale that is Hunter x Hunter 2011. We're, of course, balls deep into Phase 4. Our last episode really saw us with, of course, everybody being trapped within the cave. Leorio and Kurapika and Gon, along with the dead guy, Bourbon, the snake charmer, who had kind of left that trap. That trap was there, and now he's not alive to disarm it. And these deadly vipers, of course, are blocking their way out. And then also we have Panzu as well, the little girl that poisons people, I guess, that uses chemicals. That's where things left off. And that's right where things pick up. And the first half of this episode is really cool because it's all about, really for me, it's like the Gon show is what it is, man. Kurapika goes over and tries to get near Bourbon, and all the vipers like, and Panzu explains what happened. That she went and saw him go in there. That was her target. So she went and unleashed some sleeping gas. I guess, opened up a canister of sleeping gas. She had to fill the cave and then waited until it cleared and went in. And he was sleeping, of course. As she went up to get closer to him, the snakes, the vipers, they all kind of come in to protect him. And she jumped back. And when she either ducks, jumps, falls, or makes like some kind of scream or whatever, she's got this cool looking like headdress thing. It just sort of looked like a turban. Actually, when I saw it wrapped around her head, I thought it was some kind of headwear, and all of a sudden a bunch of these freaking like killer ass stinging bees come out of there, right? So what wound up happening to this dude is apparently he went into anaphylactic shock, I believe it was called. And they explained the whole thing, about it, and basically he had been stung before, and so we wound up having an actual allergy to it. So now that when he was stung by these things, obviously they put him into a shock. He wound up dying. She couldn't get close to him to help him in any way, shape, or form, regardless of antidotes or anything else, because he had the snake trap around him, of course. These things are blocking anybody from leaving the cave, and then, the vipers are obviously attacking anybody that comes close to him. So, but like I said, this is the Gon show, man. Gon mans up, right? Leorio is laying there, collapsed. He's been bit by the vipers. He's getting worse by the minute. And Panzu explains, don't worry about it. If we just wait till the exam's over, the examiners, they have basically like GPSs in the tags. They'll come and rescue us afterwards. But, of course, we'll fail and this and that. And Gon's just like, no, man, that shit ain't an option, right? So he just goes over, and he just bets that Bourbon will have some kind of antidote on him, right? And he just reaches in, man, and starts just feeling a dead dude up, man, checking his pockets. And there's snakes swarming all around. There's vipers around. You can hardly even see. Just got his one eye that he can see. And these fuckers are biting him and clasping on him and everything else. And he winds up going and pulling free the antidote, and then with 2 syringes goes and flips it over to Kurapika, and he's all like, hits Leorio up with it. And then Gon, just as the snakes start to kind of unwrap and get off him, Gon just like fucking falls back, man. One eye all swollen shut. He's been bit to shit. But like I said, man, Gon is a real man. He's a real boy. And then after that, not to add just awesomeness to fucking fantasticality, if that's even a word, he goes and then gets up after he gets, his shot of the antidote, right? And he's just like, all right, what if we use that gas to Panzu? What if I give you his tag? Because he wound up grabbing Bourbon's tag while he was grabbing the antidote. Boom, gives the tag to Panzu and says, but, you use some of your sleeping gas to knock the snakes out. And she goes, well, yeah, but the problem is it takes 5 minutes to knock them out, and there's no good if we're knocked out, too. We can't know you to hold our breath for 5 minutes. Gon mans up and says, 9 minutes and 44 seconds. And I just wanted him to say bitch afterwards. I don't know why. I just wanted him to say 9 minutes and 44 seconds, bitch. But anyway, she's just like, what? And he's like, that's how long I can hold my breath. And I was like, what the fuck? I think at my best, I could probably hold my breath for like a couple of minutes, I mean, boy. So anyway, Panzu's kind of, I don't want to do it. And Gon's like, really, what choice do you have? And I promise you I'll bring out her. What I really go, and then Kurapika even says, would he have gone through all this trouble and gotten bit to shit by, from Bourbon and everything else to save his friend Leorio over here if he's not going to be true to his word? He's like, he'll carry you out, So they unleash the gas, and everybody's passing out, and Gon's just counting in his head, 201, 202, 203. And I'm like, oh, man. And then, obviously when he gets to 5 minutes or 300 seconds, he goes in, he comes charging out of the cave, boy, like this, and he got everybody over his back, little 12-year-old boy. And he got Leorio's big lanky ass, and he got Kurapika's feminine-looking ass, and he got Panzu's bee-wearing, headdress-wearing ass, and he runs out, and he and drops him on the ground. So they wind up leaving Ponzu against the tree, and he takes her tag, obviously, because he never said that he wouldn't do that, and he says that's payment for carrying her ass out of the cave, gives it to Leorio, and then we go and we see the boat. The boat pulls up and, you know, calls everybody. He says they have an hour to get up there, and wants to complete phase 4. So we see my ninja, Hanzo, I think his name is. We see weird pinhead-looking mother trucker dude. We see Hisoka. We see some older grandpa-looking dude with the big eyebrows and stuff. You know, basically all the characters that wound up passing over here. There's 9 in total. There was actually 6, and then the last 3 at the last moment, of course, Gon, Leorio, and Kurapika. And then they show up, and boom, you know, they're on the boat, and they've passed phase 4. The cool part about this whole episode is they break it up, and then they're back on the airship, and Chairman Netero is sitting around talking with the other examiners, and they're like, hey, what are we going to do for phase 5, by the way, the final phase, you know? He's like, you know, I got an idea, this and that, but I want to have an interview with everybody one-on-one beforehand, before that happens. So he interviews everybody, and he asks them all the same 3 questions, and, you know, well, he asks Hisoka anyway at the beginning. He asks him, he says, why do you want to be a hunter? And Hisoka's basically just like, because it's like a license to kill, right? And he's like, all right, well, who are you keeping your eye on most, you know? And he says Gon, and or Killua. He says Killua, and then he says, you know, well, who do you least want to fight right now? And he says Gon. He says it's very close between Killua and Gon, but it's cool because he asked the same series of questions to all 9 of the applicants and participants, and almost everybody is either watching out for Gon and Killua, or afraid of Gon and Killua, or Hisoka. Those are pretty much the 3 answers that keep coming up. Most people are afraid and don't want to fight Hisoka. A lot of people are like, you know, they're watching out for Gon, but, you know, they're taking Killua too as kind of a dark horse. So after he asks this series of questions of everybody, he comes back and lays out some kind of plan for whatever phase 5 is going to be, like a bracket, he says. So I don't know if he's like setting it up like the NCAA March Madness, you know, anybody watches college basketball with the brackets, bracketology. But he comes out and lays this out, and everybody's like, and they're all surprised about what's going on. So whatever this thing is for phase 5, he said there was going to be a cool twist to it, you know, and people either going to love it or hate it. I don't know. We'll find out in the next episode. But the bottom line is phase 4 is complete. The episode wraps up, though, with, I thought, a very nice touching moment between Kurapika, who I still always forget as a guy, and Gon, and they're sitting there talking, and Kurapika could tell that something happened, you know, to him, and he's like, what happened during phase 4? And Gon goes through the whole deal, what happened with Ahsoka, and how you got punched, and he said, you know what, you know, I won't kill you until, I won't accept it back until you can punch me like that, now you owe me. And it's kind of cool because we get this little bit of a touching moment between Kurapika and Gon, and he says to Gon, he says, you know, Leorio and I wouldn't have made it this far if it wasn't for you. So, you know, like, we're grateful. Thank you, you know. And then Leorio also feels like a dumb shit. It's a male pride thing. And I got to stick up for his pride because he's like the everyman. He's like the guy that's shown he doesn't have any special powers. He's not super good at this or that, but he's driven, you know. And he's got a lot of heart, and I like that. So, all in all, though, a very cool episode, and I'm certainly excited as shit to see what's going to happen in the next, in phase 5, the final phase, to becoming a hunter. So, my episode question for you, brothers and sisters, are what did you think overall about phase 4, and who are you most excited about seeing that moved on to the next round, other than, of course, you know, Leorio, Kurapika, and Gon. We know that they were gonna, you know, of course, move on, and then, well, we know Killua did as well, but aside from those main 4 characters, who are you kind of most eager to see fighting or completing the exam or whatever? You know, the pinhead dude, or my man Hanzo, the ninja, or the old guy, or Hisoka? Leave your answer to that question in the comments down below. Feel free to hit thumbs up, like button if you think I deserve it, or just because I tell you to. And subscribe if you have not done so already. We look forward to catching all of you in the next one, Nation.
Come on over and subscribe to my other channel, and maybe follow me on Facebook and Twitter. It don't hurt you none.